Look at the sheer scale of this protest in Delhi. Thousands of young people taking to the streets, met by heavily deployed police forces. But the group leading this massive, highly organized pushback has a completely absurd name: the Cockroach Janata Party. CJP operates as a collective of Gen Z online creators, utilizing their reach of tens of millions to bypass the formal structures of traditional political parties. For years, this group focused solely on internet satire and memes. Now, they are organizing thousands of people in the physical world to protest deep-seated systemic corruption. Gen Z internet culture has mutated. What started as online entertainment has evolved into a formidable, on-the-ground political machine. The CJP organizers explicitly state they are fighting what the poet Posh called the dead silence of a generation. They point to an education system designed to churn out passive 9-to-5 workers who have quietly let their dreams die. They draw a sharp contrast between themselves and an older generation that often settles for passively forwarding WhatsApp messages instead of demanding real structural change. The spark that broke this dead silence was a massive failure in the system, widespread exam corruption that directly threatened the futures of millions of students. Now they have a concrete, uncompromising demand: the immediate resignation of Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. A specific administrative disaster has awakened a demographic that the political establishment assumed would stay asleep forever. To mobilize this demographic, CJP leans heavily on digital infrastructure. In a matter of days, their online petition gathered over 800,000 signatures. They take that digital pressure and pair it directly with classic, offline Gandhian protest methods to force government accountability without resorting to violence. But their core operational philosophy is uniquely modern. They maintain a joyful, deliberately cool, and non-serious attitude, even when dealing with immense political stakes. By centering the movement on joy and spreading love, rather than political rage, they are building a protest culture that attempts to outlast the typical cycle of exhaustion and activist burnout. There is, however, a major contradiction in their structure. CJP's manifesto promises 50% female reservation, yet all of their public-facing spokespersons are men. This visualization tracks the threat multiplier for women in politics. It shows how the volume and severity of toxic attacks, including rape and death threats, spikes exponentially the moment a female creator steps into the political spotlight. Because of this harsh reality, CJP avoids forcing women into that dangerous public crossfire. Instead, female members are placed in crucial, high-impact organizational roles behind the scenes. The joyful, carefree aesthetic of this movement hits a hard limit the moment it collides with the deep-rooted misogyny of the internet. Zooming out from the immediate demand for a resignation, CJP's long-term mission is ideological. They want to restore a basic democratic common sense among Indian youth. The core lesson they are teaching is that elected officials are public servants, not kings. If they fail to do their jobs, questioning them is a required civic duty. They actively reject the old stigma that politics is dirty. When good people stay away, power-hungry politicians remain permanently glued to their seats. Ultimately, an education system should build politically aware citizens. If it doesn't, it simply creates a workforce of obedient employees to keep a flawed system running. The Cockroach Janata Party proves that you do not need to look or sound like a grim, traditional politician to organize a massive movement for change. Fusing internet satire with massive digital reach and unyielding civic demands creates a model where online influence translates directly into physical persistence on the streets. A generation that actively refuses to take itself seriously might be exactly what is needed to seriously protect a nation's democracy.